Hi everyone, welcome to my channel Priyanka's Learn It Well. My name is Priyanka Nair and I welcome you all to yet another episode of Statistical Elements with Data Science, and today I'll be taking up the descriptive statistics having the statistical parameters for numerical values. So again, this episode would be delving into the R programming to take up the basics of the parameters of the numerical values like mean, median, range. So all these terminologies will be taken up with the data set so as to go to the next level of descriptive statistics after we have covered the basics. To begin with today's session, we will first understand the measures of the central tendency. The statistical indicators most commonly referred are mean, mode, median, standard deviation, and variance. Talking about the mean is the arithmetic average of the data set available, the values within the dataset. Mode is the value that occurs most frequently in the dataset. Median is the middle number in the list of ordered values. Range is the difference between the lowest values and the highest values. If we consider the best statistical indicators pertaining to the data types, we can say that mean is best suitable for the continuous data, mode is best suitable for the categorical data, median can be considered for categorical as well as continuous data, and range is well suited for the continuous data. Now, taking an example to understand the indicators that we have just seen, we have a data set of 10 values. For calculating the mean, first we need to add up the values in the data set and divide it by the total number of values. So we have 10 values, so we would be taking the addition or the summation of all the values and divided by the number of values, that is 10. We earn the value as 3.7. Talking about the mode is the highest frequency data value in the data set. So in this particular data set, 3 is appearing for the maximum of time. Hence, the mode of the data set is 3. Considering the median is applied on the ordered data set. So for a given data set, we first need to order the data in ascending order, and we would be taking the middle value for the same. If the data set is even in number, we would be taking the average of the two middle values to calculate the median value. Range is the difference between the maximum and the minimum value, and for the particular data set, we have the maximum value as 8 and minimum value as 1. That gives us the answer of range as 7. The next concept is of quartiles. Quartiles in statistics are values that divide your data into quarters. The 4 quarters that divide a data set into quartiles are the lowest 25% of numbers, the next lowest 25% of numbers up to the median, the second highest 25% of the numbers above the median, and the next 25%. So the quartile 2 is known as the median. So we have already seen what are the statistical indicators and what is the relevance. Using the R programming, we can derive insights into the data set and see how rich insights can be drawn in R programming with minimal code knowledge that is required. So we'll see how it is done with our programming. So in the previous episodes, we have already seen how to import our data set. So this time I'm using the data set of placement. So let's first import the data set and see what all data sets, data variables we are having with the data set. So let's import the data. So the the data that I'm having is placement.csv. So we have already seen that we'll use read.csv to import my file, and view function would give me the data set. I can see my data set. So let's run this code and see what result I'm getting. So you can see that my data frame has 215 rows of data. That is 215 observations and 15 variables. So you can see that this is a placement specific data that is having some details of the students, that is categorized into the gender. There is some, so SSCP is the percentage that a person was having in secondary school. This is the specialization that they're having. This is the high secondary percentage, the specialization, then the percentage that we are having in the degree courses. There is some work experience and some e-test percentage, specialization, some salary. So we have been given that this is the profile of the people with certain background, some educational background, and they are placed with a certain annual package. So let's see how we can apply these statistical indicators to derive the insight. So let's come back to our code. So let's say I want to calculate the mean, that is the arithmetic average of the salaries of all the 215 observation. So I want to see what is the average package of the students who are placed this year. So let's see how we can do. So for calculating the mean, the simplest way to calculate the mean is that the function that we would be using is mean. So we want to calculate the mean on the salary of the data frame df. So we have imported our data into the data frame df, and we want to calculate the mean over the variable, the data column salary. So let's see if you are able to receive the mean value or not. So when we run, so I can see that the average package of the people who are placed this year is 285,493. Now let's see if I can get the median. So we have already seen that median is a good indicator if we talk about categorical as well as the continuous variable, and specifically we are talking about a numerical variable, that is salary. So let's see what is the median value. So when I am applying the median, it is internally sorted and then given a mid value. So for calculating the median, so in the similar manner, I would be having the median for df, the salary from the data frame df. So you can see that the middle value, the middle, the number, the median number is 2,70,000. We can also calculate the standard deviation and variance. In this episode, I won't be taking into detail the standard deviation and variance. We'll be looking onto these indicators in the forthcoming episodes. But you can clearly see here that we can use the function SD and VAR for calculating the standard deviation and variance. Now let's come to the range. So we have defined range as the difference between the maximum and the minimum value in the data set. Now before we calculate the range, let's calculate the minimum value and the maximum value. That is, the value here signifies the salary. So let's calculate. So the function is min, and again we'll be taking the salary into consideration. Okay, so okay. So you can see that 2 lakh is the minimum salary, and if I want to calculate the maximum salary, I can have the max function, and you can see that 9,40,000 is the maximum salary. Now if I use the keyword range, let's see what results am I getting. So if you use the function range, you can see the minimum and the maximum value at once. Either you can use the minimum and the maximum function, min and the max function separately, or you can use the range function. Now let's see what is the value of the range. So we can say that min df dollar salary max, so we have to do the max minus min, and min df dollar salary will obtain the range. So we can see that so we had 9,40,000 as the maximum value and 2 lakh as the minimum value. So the range value that we are obtaining here is 7,40,000. So the next is the quartile. So we saw that quartile indicates the distribution in in different quartiles, that is 25% each quartile. So Q1, Q2, and Q3, wherein Q2 is the median value. So let's see how we can see the quartile values. So the function that we would be using is quantile. So the function is quantile, and the same. In the same manner, we can get the value for quantile. So here you can see that absolutely, so 0%, 25%, 50%, 75%, and 100%. You can see that these are divided into the several quartiles, and the keyword we are using is quantile. So with this, we saw that how we can calculate the values of the statistical indicators on the numerical variable, and have specifically taken the continuous variable, that is salary. Now let's move on to using the psych package that allows you to give a summary matrix for different variables. So let's come to the next module of the episode, wherein we want to create a summary matrix. That is, we want to see a summary statistical indicators for the higher secondary percentage, the secondary percentage, and the degree percentage, and using the package psych. So the package psych is meant to produce the frequently requested statistic that would be including your mean, median, the standard deviation, variance, and the skew. So there are various parameters or indicators, I would say, that can be shown with the help of the psych package, and we'll be using the describe function from the psych package to produce an easy to read data. So let's see how we can utilize the package psych. So we already know that to use a package in R, we need to install that particular package, and the syntax to install the package is install.package and the name of the package. So let's see. So here you can see that I have already installed this package. So it is saying that it has already been installed, and it has restarted my R session. So let's use this package. So for using, I can use the keyword require and the name of the package, that is psych. So here you can see that I have written require psych, and yes, it is ready to be utilized. Now I would be using a function cbind. to do is that I want to combine the three columns, that is the higher secondary and the degree percentages in my for getting the summarized results. So I would be using a function cbind, and let's see how we can employ the same. So I'll use another data frame df2, and I'll be using cbind. I have used the function cbind to combine my the columns, the HSCP, SSCP, and DF degree P. Now let's view my data set, that is DF2, that would be having 3 columns. Okay, so I need to first implement this. So yes, it is working fine. And then when I want to view this, so you can see that again I have this HSC, SSC, and degree in the same order. Now what I need to do is I want to rename. I want the renaming of my these particular columns. So what I can do is I can use the function that is call name. So I can use the function call names where I want to rename my the column names as secondary, high sec, and degree. So that just enhances my readability of data. So I have renamed. Let's see if my change is reflecting in my df2 data frame, and yes, it is. Okay, I need to first run this. Run. So yes, so here you can see that earlier it was V1, V2, and V3, and here I can see the sec, high sec, and the degree columns. Now we are ready to view the summary statistics or the summary matrix of all the most popularly used statistical indicators, and to use that and to see that, we need to use the function describe from the psych package, and we have to apply it on my data frame df2. So now you can see here, instead of calculating the mean, median, and the other statistical indicators one by one, you can see here that you have got the n is the number of observations that I'm having. Mean, you can see here the standard deviation, median, trimmed, min, max, range. So we have already calculated the min, max, range, so I'm not talking about the trimmed and the mad the statistical indicators, since we haven't used it in here. And we can also see the skew, kurtosis, and the standard error. So all these statistical indicators would be taken up with the advanced sections. So for now, we have seen that how to calculate, how to get the insights from the basic statistical indicators using the mean, median, standard deviation, variation, calculating the range wherein we would be using the min and the max. We can use the difference between the max and the min. To view the quartile ranges, we can see the quantile, and in the second module, we saw that we can use the psych package to see the summary matrix or the summary statistics of the various columns or various numerical columns in our data set. So in the upcoming episodes, I would be taking up the enhancement or the advanced statistical indicators within the descriptive statistics. That is all from today's episode of statistical parameters of numerical values, that is the descriptive statistics. And if you like my content, do not forget to share, subscribe, and like my channel Priyanka's Learn It Well. Hit the bell icon for all the notifications from my channel. Stay happy, stay smiling. Until next time. Thank you.